In this video, we'll be reviewing the purchasing process, and we'll start on the buy list. So we have just moved all of our ASINs from the restock table to the buy list based off of the restock quantity recommendations. So the first thing that I'm going to do is select a supplier on the left-hand side within the supplier summary. What this does is bring up all of the ASINs that were assigned the supplier from the restock table. It's normally going to be assigned based off of which one's the cheapest. However, if you do select preferred supplier over on the restock table, that would cause it to populate here, even if it's not the cheapest. So the one thing that I want to mention, especially for those who do wholesale, there may be an MOQ or minimum order quantity that you need to achieve. So in this situation, let's just say our MOQ is 25,000. We do list other ASINs here below that are available from the supplier, but may not be the cheapest. So in this specific example, we can see that our arbitrary test supplier is 50, but we can select it from Stitch Fix. So if I do this, it'll go ahead and account for it. We can just select it here and you'll see our total has now updated to the $31,804. But most of us probably wouldn't pay an extra $10 in order to have that achieved. So we'll go ahead and unselect, move it back to test, and now we're down to the 21,909. So we can create our order, and now you'll see the two ASINs that were selected are here. There are many things that we can do on this section. So one, you can simply click this button here, and it'll automatically take you to the suppliers page. So in this situation, this item is out of stock. So what we can do is click action. We can move it back to staging if we want to consider for future orders. If we thought that this was something that we were ordering from a different supplier, we could move it back to the buy list. Removing it completely removes it from the purchasing section of Replen Pulse, but it does not necessarily remove it from, say, like the restock page. So remove this item completely from the draft and buy list. I'm going to go ahead and click the X button because we're just going to move this to staging so that our team can keep an eye on it for a future order. Now for this item, say we go to the vendor and I can actually purchase only say 110 of these. Then we have two different options. We could split across multiple orders and move the 45 back. Maybe we want to purchase the other 45 from a different vendor. Or if we're saying this is the only vendor, I only want to purchase this amount, I'll go ahead and click limited quantity. And now it's been updated complete. So from here, you can enter your PO numbers, whatever cashback group you're using, percent, the cashback confirmation to help with tracking in case they don't do a proper payout, the credit card number to help for your tracking just the last 4 digits. And then if you do pay tax or shipping, we'll go ahead and include it here. After doing the order on the supplier's website, you'll receive an order confirmation number, which you can input here. And then you would just go and hit complete order. So that's all that you have to do for the completing order. Now, if you come to the order history page, you'll see it's included here. In the future, we'll have some additional tasks that you can do on here, such as including attachments and go through the receiving process. But for right now, we're just making sure that we house all of your information here. That way you can check and do some of the receiving process here if you prefer. Coming back to the buy list, we'll go ahead and do another example. So for coals, we'll go ahead and start the order. Notice that none of these are blue. So since they're all white, we don't have an option to purchase these anywhere else. And we'll kind of just go through the process of the different actions. So I'll say 15. We're only going to purchase this amount. 20. We're going to split across multiple orders. So this updated to 20. And now if we come back to here, I'm going to scroll down to find coals. So you'll see the other 15 are now back here for us to re-add to the draft. Or if we actually want to do a separate order, we can proceed in that manner. I'm going to come down here and open the draft back up that we were currently working on. So the next action is moving back to the buy list. So I will do, now if we come back once again, you'll see that the coals item that we had just moved back here is now back on the buy list, which we can come back in and add to draft. but we'll continue to go through the different actions. If this item's out of stock, we can move it to staging, which now populates on here for us to consider and check to see if it's in stock in the future. And then if we remove this ASIN completely, what this does is remove it from the entire purchasing section. So it does not go back to the buy list. It does not go back to staging. And as a result, your restock recommendation numbers will update. So that covers all of the different actions. What we can do is hit complete order. Check out our order history, and now you'll see our Kohl's order is also here. So that's the process for placing an order through Replen Pulse. You still need to place the actual order at the supplier's website, but we are building an order history database for you to reference in the future. Check out your order history, track your cashback, credit card numbers, etc., and in the future be able to keep your documents such as order confirmations and invoices. Check out our next video, which covers through the order history process and what the receiving currently looks like.